Welcome to the Senate Spotlight. Meet the candidates. Your go-to series for getting to know the individuals vying for a seat in the Senate. In this series, we aim to provide clear, unbiased, and educational overviews of the candidates, their backgrounds, and their platforms. So come and join us and let's get to know them more.
First senatorial candidate, meet Abigail Abby Binay, a lawyer, leader, and the current mayor of Makati City since 2016. She's no stranger to public service. Coming from a prominent political family, Abby served as a congresswoman for Makati's 2nd District from 2007 to 2016 before becoming mayor. Her father, Jejomar Binay, was vice president and a long-time mayor. Her siblings Nancy and Junjun are also active in politics. But Abby's leadership stands on its own. As mayor, she champions transparency, innovation, and inclusive governance. Under her, Makati gained national recognition for digital initiatives like the Makatizen Card, streamlining city services. She's also known for prioritizing healthcare like the Yellow Card program, free maintenance medicine, and upgraded clinics. Also in education for having free uniforms, supplies, and daily meals through projects Free and Feed. And also for having poverty reduction with initiatives that dropped Makati's poverty rate to just 0.6%. On the global stage, she represents Southeast Asia on the Global Covenant of Mayors for Climate and Energy and promotes sustainable urban development worldwide. With a strong educational background in human ecology in UPLB and law in Ateneo, Mayor Abby combines expertise with heart. She leads with integrity, advocates for reform, and inspires change beyond Makati. Abby Binay, a mayor redefining local leadership for a better, smarter, more inclusive future. Moving on to the next senatorial candidate, which is Allen Arat Kapuyan. Allen Arat Kapuyan is a retired military officer, indigenous advocate, and a former chairperson of the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples or NCIP. He is born into the Manobo tribe of Agusan del Sur, and Kapuyan's roots and service go deep. A PMA class of 1983 graduate, and he spent decades in intelligence and national defense, holding key positions like Chief of Intelligence in Davao and Chief of Operations at ISAFP. But his impact didn't stop in the military. In 2019, Kapuyan became NCIP chairperson, pushing for indigenous people's land rights and greater representation. Under his leadership, the NCIP approved numerous certificates of ancestral domain titles and a major milestone in securing land and cultural rights for indigenous Filipinos. On the global front, Kapuyan represented the Philippines at the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, advocating for programs shaped by the free, prior, and informed consent of IP communities. He also championed partnerships like with the Department of Tourism to promote cultural heritage and sustainable development. While his name has appeared in past legal controversies, no formal conviction has been reported. Despite these challenges, he's been recognized for his transparent governance and dedication to public service. With a background in military strategy, indigenous advocacy, and public engagement, Allen Kapuyan continues to be a strong voice for inclusive governance, indigenous rights, and community empowerment.
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and now let's know more about senatorial candidate Amira Lidasan. So who is Amira Lidasan? Amira Lidasan is an activist from the Moro Christian People's Alliance and the co-chairperson of the Sandugo movement of Moro and Indigenous Peoples for self-determination. She pursued a bachelor's degree in journalism at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Amira Lidasan advocates for human rights, peace talks, and Moro and Indigenous people culture and minority rights. Additionally, she will focus on economic programs that are pro-people-centered, that respect our cultural practices, protect the environment, and provide access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and sustainable livelihood opportunities. Lidasan expressed that she will advocate for the oppressed and victims of violence in Mindanao, aiming to address the issues they continue to face. She emphasized that a large number of those impacted by the conflict in the region are still in evacuation centers, with no assurance of returning to their places of origin. Pointing to the reason behind her decision to run for Senate, she stated that no one has been standing up for the rights and welfare of the Moro people. Lidasan emphasized the need for representation of Moro and indigenous peoples in the government, and the importance of standing with fellow citizens in the fight for justice. Despite their previous loss, she affirmed that their mission continues due to the need for the voices of the Moro to be heard in the government. Lidasan stressed the importance of unity among oppressed groups, stating, "We all experience oppression and we stand up for the same thing." As of now, there is no publicly available record indicating that Amira Lidasan has authored or co-authored any laws that have been officially promulgated. Amira Lidasan's activism spans over 30 years, starting in 1994 when she became a student leader at the University of the Philippines. Lidasan has also run for office twice, in 2004 and 2022. Her continued dedication is evident as she runs for the Senate in 2025 under the Makabayan Coalition. In her senatorial campaign under the Makabayan Coalition, Lidasan has placed herself under public scrutiny, a move that inherently requires transparency concerning her positions, background, and intentions regarding legislative reforms. This political candidacy highlights her willingness to be accountable to the public. Her legislative priorities are to conduct a critical review of existing laws, such as the Anti-Terrorism Act, that may infringe on Moro and Katutubo rights. She aims to render justice and reparations to Moro and Katutubo affected by land dispossession, militarization, bombings, extrajudicial killings, and enforced disappearances, with special attention to the victims of martial law in Mindanao. Now, let's talk about another senatorial candidate, Attorney Angelo de Alban. In 2008, Attorney Angelo de Alban co-founded with his family members St. Philomena School, a school for children with special needs. He is also an educator at University of Santo Tomas and manages his own law firm. Coming from a family of lawyers and teachers, he earned his bachelor's degree in journalism, law degree, and master of law from the University of Santo Tomas. Attorney Angelo de Alban is pushing for benefits for children with special needs and persons with disabilities, including free therapy, assessments, and livelihood programs for their families. He also advocates for establishing more courts and appointing more judges to speed up justice, imprison the corrupt, and free the innocent, emphasizing that delays are caused by overworked and understaffed judges, not judicial incompetence. As of now, there are no records indicating that Angelo de Alban has authored or sponsored any laws that have been promulgated. De Alban has served for 17 years as a litigation lawyer and 16 years as a law professor at the University of Santo Tomas. With his legal background and knowledge, the candidate is confident that he can motivate future leaders, asserting that he has no ties to corruption and has the solutions to combat it. De Alban shared his disappointment over being labeled as a nuisance candidate by the COMELEC during his 2019 run, due to an alleged inability to conduct a nationwide campaign. He found it ironic that some candidates with minimal qualifications, those who sing or dance without showing true understanding of their duties, are allowed to run, while he, a teacher and lawyer, was disqualified. De Alban highlighted the injustice of being dismissed despite his professions, which were once respected and represented in the country's earliest Senate. Since high school, De Alban aspired to become a senator. He expressed that the kind of change he wanted to implement when he became a lawyer is to make a long-term and impactful contribution on a national scale. De Alban also emphasized that true service means helping and giving selflessly. Give until we bleed. But he also noted that this commitment should not be to the point of one's harm. In the 2019 senatorial elections, Angelo de Alban challenged the Commission on Elections after being declared a nuisance candidate due to his lack of financial capacity and political machinery. He argued that financial capacity is not a constitutional requirement for candidacy and that he had a genuine intention to run. The Supreme Court ruled in his favor, stating that COMELEC committed grave abuse of discretion. Attorney Angelo de Alban proposed amendments to the Family Code, including raising the legal marriage age to 24, and also suggested stricter marriage requirements. Additionally, he pledged to expand the Right to Care card, which is a document allowing same-sex couples to make medical decisions for their partners on a national scale, addressing the lack of national legislation granting LGBTQ plus couples equal rights in medical settings.
Hey everyone, it's Rixane Cudiniera, and you might wondering who is Apollo Kibuloy and Ariel Kirubin. So, let us get to know them. So, who is Apollo Kibuloy? Apollo Kibuloy is a Filipino pastor and founder of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, or KOJC, a Restorationist church established in 1985 with millions of followers in the Philippines and abroad. He has strong background in religious leadership, having served as executive pastor of KOJC for decades, and is recognized for his influential preaching and spiritual leadership, including receiving awards like Asia's iconic and influential spiritual leader for his societal contributions and charitable work. However, his leadership and governance experience are overshadowed by serious legal issues. He is currently wanted by the FBI and Philippine authorities for allegations including human trafficking, child abuse, and other crimes, leading to his arrest in 2024. These charges raise a significant concerns about his integrity, accountability, and commitment to public service. Kibuloy's educational background including theological studies at the United Pentecostal Bible Institute, graduating in 1972, and he gained early recognition as a preacher within the United Pentecostal Church of the Philippines before founding his own church. Politically, he has been influential, closely allied with former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte and endorsing other prominent politicians, reflecting a deep understanding of national issues and involvement in public affairs. Next is Ariel Kirubin. Ariel Kirubin is a retired Philippine Marine Corps colonel and Medal of Valor awardee. Exemplifies leadership and governance experience grounded in decades of military service, marked by courage and strategic command and critical national security operations. His strong educational background includes graduation from Philippine Military Academy and further studies at the University of Canberra. Kirubin possesses a deep understanding of national and global issues, particularly in security, having fought insurgencies and led operations against rebel groups, which inform his campaign platform focused on food security, education, and territorial integrity as pillars of national security. His commitment to public service is evident in his military career and his continued involvement in governments, including multiple runs for the Philippine Senate under the Nationalista Party. Known for his integrity and strong moral character, Kirubin has constantly advocated for principled leadership and transparency, emphasizing the eradication of corruption, accountability, and government. His stance on accountability and transparency is clear in his call for fearless leaders who prioritize the country's welfare over personal or political alliances. Kirubin's dedication to national development and social welfare is reflected in his proposal to support the family of fallen soldiers through scholarships, assistance, as well as innovative ideas like converting military lands into farming hubs to food security and community resilience. His life story and career demonstrate a steadfast commitment to the nation's progress and well-being of its people.